Hello, my students. It's not Daniel. You told me to make a video of my country instead of presenting it to you because you said you were going to be busy today. Excuse me. I did my weekend getaway. I don't know if you knew that, but I did it, so I was able to talk during this. It's a cool little thing that you did for us. Thank you. Um, didn't know if you wanted me to sign or not, so I'm just going to do this and then send it to you and everything, and then see what you say. Anyways, today we're talking about South Korea. It's a peninsula west of Japan and south of China. Beautiful place. Some photos there for you to see their beautiful culture. Speaking of culture, let's get down to the cultural facts, right? We're not going to be talking about any of those images. We're going to talk about the 5 interesting facts that I found. Born at birth, babies are classified at being age 1 year old, and all birthdays are celebrated on January 1st. Meaning, if you're born the day before January 1st, you're 1, and the very next day, you're 2. It's very weird, very interesting. It's pretty cool, actually. That one is dying out though. That I don't know, tradition, I guess. 2, there are about 425.2 thousand deaf people in South Korea. That is less than 1% of the population, which is kind of crazy. There's also no facial hair. Not that isn't any, but locals consider facial hair to be dirty, poor, uncaring about your appearance, and I do not agree with that. I think my facial hair makes me look handsome. 4, 3,400 islands. Korean is actually made up of 3,400 separate islands. While this is an impressive figure, some of these islands are incredibly small. In fact, only about 473 of these islands are actually inhabitable. Number 5. Valentine's Day for guys, White Day, is essentially another Valentine's Day held a month later on March 14th, but for guys. It's pretty cool. Another top interesting fact that I found that I was going through that I thought was pretty interesting, but not as interesting as these other things. They have a weird belief in that your blood type matters in a relationship. So like if you're A positive, you shouldn't be with like a O minus, but you should be with like a B positive or a AB minus. You know, it's kind of like Greek, or how people like believing in the stars and stuff. I just find that interesting. I just found it funny. You know. Speaking about our cultural similarities and differences, the U.S. and South Korea corresponds with not a lot, but they also don't differ a lot either, which I found very interesting. Eating with our family, like eating with family or gatherings like that, is the same. They do eat very largely with their family, just like us. Gift giving between cultures is generally the same. Just Koreans do it a little bit more often because they have a more holidays, I guess, cultural holidays. Korea and U.S. both enjoy pop music, like K-pop. I know some people are a little crazy about that. I particularly am not. You won't have any trouble if you're driving over there. I mean, you'd have to learn the language, but to know where you're going. But they use the same like sign system as us, so like your license over there is technically valid because you know exactly how to drive over there. Same rules, same everything. Roundabouts galore. It's kind of bad actually. I don't like roundabouts. They suck. Anyways, how the U.S. and South Korea differ. In Korean culture, respect for elders is of utmost importance. Like, throw down your body on a puddle so that they can step on you type of importance. It's pretty interesting, actually. I was gonna say crazy, but you know, probably wouldn't throw down my body, but you know, throw it on my shirt, I guess. It is normal to see children live with their parents till they're like in their early 30s. I don't know if you would even call them children at that point. More like tenants. Direct eye contact is seen as confrontational and rude, which I feel like that's a weird thing because our culture is definitely not like that. And then bowing to greet one another. But that one's pretty simple. South Korean deafness. I don't have any pictures on this one. Sorry. View of deafness. There's not much research on how South Koreans viewed deafness throughout its history. However, the original view of a deaf child in the family was, to say the least, of bad omen, leading to most deaf babies to be abandoned or hidden for the majority of their lives. However, this view of deafness has changed as South Korea implements laws and regulations to improve the quality of life for deaf and South Koreans. KSL historical facts. Of what I found with research, a lot of it came from Wikipedia, so I don't trust a lot of it. But also, there were some other sites that I used that were pretty good to like fact checked Wikipedia. Anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. It is unclear when exactly deaf people in Korea began to develop Korean Sign Language, KSL, as it was created sometime in 1800s and heavily influenced by the Milan Conference, entirely diminishing the language in its history. Although the introduction of deaf schools in 1909 re-established it during Japanese colonialism, although from 1910 to 1945, JSL, Japanese Sign Language, was introduced to Korea. The contact between the sign language for so long led to reshaping of KSL. About 60% of JSL and KSL correlate. Another major influence on KSL was the Korean War from 1950 to 1953, when it was exposed to American Sign Language, and it was it adopted signs from ASL. Not only that, but this is where North Korea's sign and South Korea's sign split off from one another, making about 30% KSL. And due to everything, making about 30% of the KSL correlated to American Sign Language, leaving about 10% being the original Korean Sign Language. Although this has been lengthy, South Korean sign was finally recognized in 2008, but the bill didn't pass until 2015. So technically still was recognized in 2015. What KSL looks like. I believe I shared the video with you. The slide and the video, so you'd be able to view that. But I also have... Don't want to play it. Please don't play it. No, thank you. Just gonna skip to the next slide. This is what Korean ASL looks like. It's very interesting. It's the sign. I actually learned a few of the signs here. They have a lot of vowels. This isn't all of them. There's actually more. But this is the clearest one I could find. Education system and jobs. Currently, there are 14 deaf schools in South Korea. National Institute of Special Education 2017 consisted of 4 public and 10 private schools. All 14 schools for the deaf provide free education for their 819 deaf students. I think it was actually 820, but that's all right. Although oralism has been the dominant mode of education in schools for the deaf in South Korea, and is still preferred over learning their sign language. Although this in turn is for change, as South Korea tries to increase the number of sign language education centers from 14 to 17. I repeated the information. Increasing the numbers of... And then increasing the numbers of teachers training centers from 8 to 17 as well. And improving the quality of KSL teachers, But until then, South Korean deaf population continues to fight for greater access to Korean Sign Language, quality interpreters, and a more inclusive society. Job rates, I guess, from the only research I could find about jobs is in 2017, the employment rate for deaf and hard of hearing people is about 33.4%. So of the 40 or 425,000 people, only 33.4 of them were actually employed. So that's pretty low and sad. Anyways, that is the end. Thank you for your time. Thank you for allowing me to do this, even though it's late. So thank you, Miss Simmons.